Think there's a hole in your account? Well, maybe you're not looking at the whole account. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and I want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for bringing this video here. They have sponsored it and have allowed me to create the wonderful content that I love creating for you guys here. So we are going to talk about looking at your account as a whole account. Now, this is going to sound a little weird because a lot of people are like, Bront, why are you talking about it? My account's my account. It is very easy to compartmentalize parts of your account and then think that you're bad at some area and not good at something. And oftentimes, the progress on your whole account is part of progress on your whole account. For example, progress in Faction Wars can help you in Arena. Progress in Arena can help you in Clan Boss. Progress in Clan Boss can help you in Dungeons, etc., etc., etc. Now, it's not always a direct tit-for-tat type of thing, but quite often it is very easy to overlook parts of the game and then complain that other parts of the game aren't helping us because we're not focused on the whole account and every part of the account. So what I'm talking about, well, let's talk about it. Let me go down and break down oftentimes how I look at other people's accounts when I do coaching for them, when I do takeovers, and why I look for the things I do when we're talking about how to improve your account. So we are here in Faction Wars because, believe it or not, Faction Wars is one of the first places I look to see where an account is. And it tells me a lot about the type of account I'm dealing with. An account that is near getting Lydia has put in the effort to get Lydia, and they might just be stuck because they might be missing a few champions here, or maybe they have to move a bit of gear around there. There could be all kinds of reasons they're stuck on one or two factions. But in general, that is a much different than looking at an account where I will see them having finished one faction and have less than 12 stars in another faction. If you're not dealing with Faction Wars, you are leaving gear on the table, you are leaving glyphs on the table, you are hurting your account. Perception gear works all the way through the end game. Resilience gear is usable early on and good for silver in the late game. And the glyphs that you get that help you improve the stats on your gear are huge. Those are account changing. I did a video recently where we talked about the stats that you might be missing. And a lot of them are because people don't glyph up their gear. So make sure you're running Faction Wars and make sure you're pushing your Faction Wars. Now, I'm not saying that you need to finish Faction Wars as soon as possible. You need to dive into it and do nothing but Faction Wars. No, that's actually not even the point of the video. That actually is breaking the point of the video. What you need to be doing is you need to be pushing your Faction Wars constantly and finding ways to improve it. And at certain points, and specifically looking at what you're going to get here, stage 13 is where you start to get legendary materials, and stage 20 and 21 are where you stop getting 3-star glyphs and used to get 4 to 6-star glyphs. So getting to stage 20 is huge, but getting to stage 13 is great. And if you're only at stage 13, you're still in a good position to be getting 5 and 6-star perception and resilience gear, so you can finally start forging that, and that's going to change your account. Anything beyond stage 14 is gravy at that point in time, and once you can get to stage 18 and get those 6-star glyphs on occasion, 6-star glyphs can change your account because they can give you huge numbers. Now, Polarium has thrown a bit of a wrinkle in this by now having hard mode, but hard mode is not as much of an indicator as normal mode for the progression of an account. Like, for example, you'll see here, my free-to-play has not done anything in hard mode. It's not that I couldn't do anything in hard mode. There's probably a couple of factions where I could do a few things in hard mode, but hard mode is not easy for me as an account right now where I am progressed, but it's someplace that I'm going to be getting to soon, and it's something that is worth, as my account fleshes out more, eventually start investing in. But right now, I'm still progressing towards Nightmare Hydra, for example. And Nightmare Hydra is a little more important for me than doing hard Faction War. That said, once you can do hard Faction Wars, pushing your hard Faction Wars up a little bit to be able to do a reasonably high level as often as you can gets you the relic materials and gets you even more of the glyph materials as well. Because at some point in time here, if you start doing stage 15 and beyond, you stop getting 4-star glyphs and get 5 and 6-star only. That's actually a pretty huge improvement. And at some point in time, I believe it is right around here. There we go. So stage 16 and beyond is where you can start getting mythical materials for the relics for Faction Wars as well. You don't need to actually clear all the stars in hard Faction Wars. It's great if you can get yourself a Polera. That's actually pretty cool. But Polera is not the game changer that Lydia is. And honestly, for the most part, the best rewards for hard Faction Wars are the relics and the glyphs, not the end result champion. Next up, I will check the dungeons because we want to see where people are at Ice Golem, where they're at Dragon, where they're at Fire Knight, where they are at Spider. And again, this is for me judging an account based off of a takeover. Now, I'm not really going to care about these arcane keeps or anything like that. I do care if they're running Iron Twins, but it's not one of the places I look at initially because knowing how far they are in these dungeons tells me a little bit more about where they're at with their account, as well as what kind of things they're trying. Dragon is one of the easiest dungeons to get all the way to hard 10, but it's actually fairly easy to get to like hard 2 and hard 6. A lot of players can get to hard 2 and hard 6 with a little bit of effort. That doesn't mean that they don't necessarily want to farm just straight old Dragon 20 anyway. There's plenty of reasons to farm Dragon 20 or Dragon 24 rather than anything on the hard or number 25. But it's nice to know if they push that hard, and if part of the reason they're not doing it is maybe because it takes too long or maybe because it's not 100%. But it's also nice to understand if they're just not trying these dungeons, maybe because they're not focused on building champions properly, or maybe there's other issues that are preventing them from getting in certain dungeons. Sometimes, for example, Fire Knight. Fire Knight can be tricky. I'm now farming stage 6 with my free to play. I've actually gotten to a point where you can see I can do a 3-minute and 28-second run on stage 6 in 84 turns. It's usually not that good. It's usually closer to 4.5 to 5 minutes and usually 100 to 120 turns, but I can do it on this account because I've been persistent. I know the formula and I've aimed at doing it and I've made it a priority. And it is too often where accounts just don't make a priority to farm better stages of these dungeons. And Fire Knight in particular is still a good end game dungeon. Savage Gear, right behind me, great set. Stun Gear, very good. Have a couple of good stun sets, very helpful. Regeneration, one of the better free-to-play sets in the game for keeping your champions alive. Crit damage, usable. Shield set, a couple champions with shield set, not too bad. So there's a couple of really good sets in here and a couple of usable sets in here. I mean, honestly, I think crit damage is actually a very good PvE set for players that don't have a lot of merciless gear. Once you start getting a lot more merciless gear, crit damage gear is going to fall off for your account, and that's fine. That's the natural progression. But until then, having somebody with Savage and crit damage gear is a viable build because 20% extra crit damage is actually a pretty good chunk, and maybe Cruel might have been slightly better with that extra 5% ignore defense and 15% attack. But you know what? It doesn't help an HP-based nuker quite as much. It doesn't help a defense-based nuker quite as much. That 20% crit damage is nearly the same, and since you can farm for that crit damage, you might be able to get better pieces than you can get for that Cruel gear, for example. But even with Dragon, speed is such an important set that being able to farm 2x or 3x speed at the highest level can make a huge impact for your account. On top of that, Ice Golem. You've still got Provoke gear, helpful to have. Curse gear, helpful to have. Reflex gear, really, really good. Retaliation gear has been buffed and is actually much better than it used to be as well. So don't sleep on Ice Golem. I know it's one of the harder dungeons, and I know the gear sets there are very niche, because Provoke and Cursed is certainly a lot more niche than, say, Savage is. But Reflex, very, very good for the champions you can put that on. Retaliation's kind of an interesting two-piece set for a couple of champions as well. So there's some fun options here. And Spider, unless you're an ultra endgame player that has been able to dump tens of thousands of energy into, well, pinpoint gear, you're probably going to still be looking for accessories from Spider for quite a long time to come. And if you're not in 6-star accessories, and you're not constantly figuring out whether or not this piece only has 2 rolls into speed, so maybe this banner isn't quite as good, you're probably farming Spider because you need banners with speed, you need better amulets, and you need better rings, because if you're not getting the 9-piece bonus sets from those accessories, you want the absolute best of these regular accessories, because every stat will count at that point. Of course, some of you may find that you're struggling in Arena, and sometimes it's a matter of not having the right champions, but you don't always need the best champions to compete in Arena in some manner. Classic Arena, you can often just farm a few pieces here and there and get a couple of wins in, do your dailies in Classic Arena, do a little bit more, and keep on working on that great haul, and that's going to help your account overall. Live Arena, same thing. The matchups will fluctuate a little bit, but eventually you will be matched up against players that can make sure that you can be 40 to 50% to 60% win rate. It's somewhere in there is usually where most people end up. And if you start falling a little bit closer to the 40%, you'll find you'll start getting a few more easy matches until you get back up closer to that 50 and maybe even up to a 60%. And then you're going to go back versa. So getting some of the stuff in Arena done is going to be very helpful. Getting the gear you get from Arena. As you notice, I haven't finished it yet today. I'm not going to do it every day. You don't have to do this every day. But doing some hard live Arena is going to get you a nice champion in Quintus. Is going to get some really nice gear. And I can tell you right now, the Zeal gear, very, very good. And the Impulse gear is one of the best sets in the game. It is speed gear and reflex gear rolled into one. Absolutely amazing, and I love putting that on so many champions. It is so good to put on those champions, and it helps them a lot. And I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't farm some live Arena. But on top of the fact that then you're leaving your great haul bonuses in the dust if you're not doing the Classic Arena and the Live Arena. These stats mean something. The difference between the level 4 and the level 6, yes, it's only 4%. It ends up not being super huge, but it makes a difference. And particularly for progression, sometimes 2 speed or 2% extra HP or attack or defense can make a huge difference. I can't actually tell you how easy a difference it was as I was struggling with Fire Knight and my Fire Knight team was not 100%. And I added 2 points of speed to my Fire Knight team, and this was on my main account, and suddenly everything was 100%, and it actually shaved 5 turns off my turn run because the speed made enough of a difference that suddenly I was getting a turn when I wasn't getting a turn beforehand in the turn order. And that's the difference between me killing somebody or them having a turn and being able to attack back. That is where speed kills, and that is why these stats are still very hard to sleep on. Extra accuracy means it's easier to gear your champions, and if you're struggling with gearing your champions, this is a way you can make up for not great gear by getting the extra stats. And then you can farm the better gear so you can get better stats on top of these as well. So these area bonuses, these affinity bonuses, very, very helpful, but it requires you to do a little bit of PvP. Are you looking to join me and have fun playing Raid Shadow Legends? Well, I've got the link for you. Use my link down below and get yourself a free LNRL once you get through the tutorial. LNRL is a great legendary, does a bunch of poisons, does irresistible burns, explodes those poisons, going to be very, very great for progressing in the early game, great for your clan boss team, will really, really help you out. And then at level 15, get yourself an Ugo. Ugo is absolutely amazing. She is one of the best endgame epics. She brings your block debuffs, she brings your decreased defense, she's got a heal and a cleanse, she's got leech on that A1, she is super tanky, she's got a chance to revive. Absolutely amazing epic for you. All you need to do is start a brand new account using a brand new fresh email and use my link down below. Get started in Raid and have some fun. On the other hand, we have the clan bosses, and Demon Lord, pretty easy. It's where you get shards. It's the place for shards. You better be doing your Demon Lord, and if you're slacking on the Demon Lord, I'm not quite sure what you're doing. Now, if you're struggling with Demon Lord because you just haven't been able to put together the team to do it, that's fine. You can find places to help you out. There are plenty of different builds. There's plenty of different strategies for clan boss, and sometimes it just takes getting the right champions for it, getting the right gear, and yeah, you can struggle a little bit. But with okay champions and somewhat okay gear, you should be able to get yourself into a position to 2-key Nightmare at a minimum. It's not too hard to be able to get yourself to do that. And you just got to kind of push yourself a little bit. But that's where those PvP bonuses can help you. That's where the Faction Wars bonuses with the right gear can help you. That is where doing the right dungeons can help you. And that's where it leads back to helping you in Clan Boss. Once you've got your Clan Boss sorted out, well, that's going to help you in all the other areas of the game as you continue to pull better champions, more champions, or even just food to be able to build those champions that you do want to build. Meanwhile, Hydra is where you're going to get that stone skin and that protection gear, which are going to take your account to another level. Stone skin gear, definitely more of a PvP based set, but is going to help your account because there's so many cool things you can do once you have stone skin. And honestly, there's a couple of PvE uses for stone skin. Sometimes you want to make sure you live through the first turn. And once you live through the first turn, the stone skin doesn't matter as much anymore from there, and you're in okay shape. Meanwhile, the protection set, being able to eventually get 9-piece protection to be able to raise the damage on your other champions and keep those buffs protected is huge. And that's good in PvE and PvP. So protection is a set that grows with your account. And as you grow it and you're able to get from that 4-piece to that 6-piece to eventually that 9-piece set, because you're doing Hydra, it's going to help your account. And again, better gear, more opportunities for gear lets you ultimately increase the level of your gear so that you can continue to build better champions. So, good gear in other areas helps you build Hydra teams, which helps you get good gear that helps you build the other teams. Again, a very cyclical response. And Chimera as well. Very similar to how Hydra, Chimera is in many ways the relic version of Hydra. So you need more relics, you need relic materials, you need ways to level up your relics. Well, that is what you get from Chimera. And those relics make a huge difference to your account. Now, not every relic is going to be amazing. And yes, there's a lot of RNG involved in getting relics on your account. But because of that RNG, you want to make the most of your opportunities to get as many relics as you can. On top of that, a great mythical is hiding here in Chimera. Get yourself an Embrace and he will help you in other areas of the game. And that is absolutely amazing. So getting a good champion, again, you get the same thing with Hydra. You're going to get Mithrala, a great champion, and getting yourself more relics and more materials is going to help you in other areas of the game. And that's going to then return help you get better Chimera scores. And finally, we've got the Doom Tower, Curse City, and Siege. And yeah, some of these are kind of maintenance areas. Doom Tower gives you all kinds of cool stuff, but you got to climb it every day. Kind of annoying. Curse City, you got to go use your keys every day. I actually cannot use any more keys. The only thing I can do is try to beat Amius on this stage because I cannot beat Amius on my normal account. Or I could try to fight myself in some of these ways in hard, but I haven't quite been able to get one of these stages down. So on my free to play, I'm done with Curse City, but there's a lot of really good rewards here in the Curse City that have been very helpful for my account. On top of that, Doom Tower, again, eventually getting yourself all the way up to here, that is 2 sacred shards for climbing up on the hard side. Climbing up the normal side, well, there's, various gems and brews and energy, more gems, some of the glyphs for forging gear is very good in there, the charms. And again, Void Shard up here, another Void Shard, I think. Where is that Void Shard? Somewhere down here. There's another Void Shard floating around somewhere. At least I could have sworn there was another Void Shard. But getting a couple of Void Shards, getting some books, getting, energy, lots of good stuff that you can get that can help you farm other areas, improve your account, and then of course that can help you farm Doom Tower. Once you're eventually at a point where you're just kind of doing Doom Tower on auto, it'll start being faster and faster and faster because your gear will continue to get better and better and your champions will get better and better and you'll find new and better ways to conquer Doom Tower, making it easier and faster for you as well. So you keep on reinvesting in your account and your account will continue to go further. And Siege, well, Siege is technically a PvP/PvE/whatever mode, but you know what? There's some great gear in the Feral set there. The Feral set you know, very, very helpful. It's basically the debuffer version of the protection set in many ways, where you get extra damage from having those debuffs land. And yeah, it's a great set. All it takes is a little bit of investment in the siege mode, and you can help your clan win a bunch of extra really good gear that'll help you in other areas of the game. Now, here's the biggest caveat of all this stuff. I realize that this stuff takes time to do, and I understand that not everybody has time to do everything in Raid Shadow Legends. Some people like to play casually and they only like to focus on the areas that they focus on. That's fine. If you're having fun playing Raid, I'm not telling you you're doing it wrong. But if you're struggling with some areas of the game, maybe it's because you haven't put effort into other areas of the game that can get you some of the rewards that'll help you out in that area. And I understand PvP is a kind of controversial topic. Not everyone likes PvP, but do a little bit of it. It's honestly not too bad. If you get the hang of it, kind of get on a roll and learn some of the champions, learn some of the ways you should build champions differently for PvP, you might find you might actually enjoy the chess match that can happen in a good PvP match. And if you don't, well, you know, do your best to kind of fake it for a bit and just put in some effort in there, because even a minimal amount of effort occasionally will pay off huge dividends for you in other areas of the game. So guys, I don't know what you think. What kind of areas do you like to focus on? Are there areas that you're struggling at that maybe I've opened your eyes up into a way that some other area might help you with? You really feel like you're only limited by champions? Because I honestly think that there's the trifecta of champions, gear, and in some cases time are really the three limiters in Raid Shadow Legends. You don't have the time, you're going to struggle getting the gear. You don't have the gear, you're going to struggle getting the champions. You don't have the champions, you're going to struggle with the gear. But on top of that, if you don't have the gear or the champions, you might struggle just with time playing Raid, because it's going to take you a little longer to get some stuff done. And that's unfortunate. That's a bit of a vicious cycle from that end. But I want to try to help you guys make the most out of your Raid experience. And sometimes that may mean doing things that are not as enjoyable, because down the road they will pay off for your account and make the rest of your account that much more enjoyable. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see videos like this where we break down things you can do in Raid. I realize this is kind of a generic video, not necessarily a great guide, but hopefully this was some insight for you in ways that you can improve your account and highlight some of the things that you might be missing that can actually help progress your account further, because you just aren't putting a little bit of effort into them. So hopefully that inspires you. Hopefully you're having some fun. You know, leave me a comment down below and let me know if there's anything that you would love me to focus on. If there's some questions you have on Raid, if there's things that you're curious about, things you would like to see. I know we've talked about hard faction mode being something that I should probably dive a little bit more into. You know, and I've just been you know, struggling with a little bit of time to deal with that as well. But I am doing my best to give you guys some absolutely amazing Raid content, and I appreciate the support. Much love. Again, you guys are an absolutely amazing community. And hey, until the next video, I am Bront, CatHerder.